His reaction will give us a clue to his intentions.
Yes, Master.
Alright, let's talk about Scream. It's a 1996 film directed by Wes Craven, who did the Freddy Krueger films. Someday he decides to come up with some different horror character named Ghostface, who calls people by people's phones and shit and just fucks with them, and then all of a sudden he comes out of nowhere and just stabs them the shit out of them with a fucking knife. And to be honest with you, I just find this guy to be pretty much a fucking amateur as a horror villain. Because there's so many guys who could fucking kick the shit out of this guy. Jason Voorhees will fucking murder this fucking guy. Even Wes Craven's Freddy Krueger, he can just put him in one of his nightmare dreams and he just kills him. That's it. He's dead. This guy's like a fucking amateur. It's just that's basically what it is, to be honest. You know, it's like two murderers was really two teenagers and all that other shit. Spoilers. Yeah, I was like watching a movie like last night or something. I was like, you know, let me try watching this. Even though I see it millions and millions of times on TV, keep popping up. We just watch the whole thing and see how it goes and all that. It starts out with Drew Barrymore's bland acting and fucking Ghostface calls the fucking phone and start haunting him and not haunting him, haunting her and her dead boyfriend tied up to the chair. He cuts his guts out and shit. All that other bullshit. And all of a sudden, she was like making popcorn and all that bullshit. All of a sudden, he comes out of nowhere, stabs the shit out of her, and these family people her parents don't even see her getting stabbed. They just walk in. Pretty unrealistic, but whatever. Yeah, I get it. It's a movie, not supposed to be realistic, but I don't know. I just like shit that's like realistic and makes sense to me. This whole movie just was too goofy. I mean, I'm fine with the serious scenes in this film, but most time it's like goofy as hell. I feel like it's like more of a comedy than like a serious horror film to me. Which seems like very amateurish. And this movie also stars Neve Campbell, if I say her name right. I probably butchered the fuck out of it. And she's like one of the main chicks in the movie. And she's alright. She's an alright actress. She's better than Drew Barrymore's bland acting. She does like way better than her. And David Arquette, he plays this fucking chief cop. No, he's not a chief. He's just like a regular police officer of a county, sheriff county shit. And I don't fuck with David Arquette. I think he's like a really shitty actor. A lot of people love him because he's like a big fan of wrestling. And you know, it pissed off a lot of wrestlers when he won the championship belt because of that guy who run WCW. I forgot what his fucking name was, but I mean, he's kind of a smart at what he did for WCW. You know, he did just like some wrong, stupid shit ideas he came out with, like making Dave Arquette the WCW champion and shit. That was like the dumbest shit ever he came out with. Besides all that, he still did a good job creating the WCW, writing it and coming up with the ideas and booking the whole matches and all that. You know, him and Jim Cornette had like beef with each other. Oh, Vince Russo, that's what his name was, Vince Russo. Even the two had like beef with each other, etc., etc. They both are really smart fucking writers and bookers, you know. But let's keep continuing. And also Courtney Cox is in here. Courtney Cox, yeah. She's like a news reporter, and I don't really find her interesting either. You know, she does shit in this movie. Well, I don't know. These actors, this movie, I would play these characters. They just don't seem to be well written or well put in this film to me. And like the atmosphere of this film just like, seems so goofy. I mean, I guess it's how they try to portray how kids act in real life, how teenagers would act, especially how with Matthew Lillard. AKA, you know, Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, who plays He plays Shaggy like years later after this film, like at least 6 to 7 years later. He's like one of the murderers with the other guy named fucking what was his name? Billy. Like those two are like both fucking murderers and shit. And all that. And he acts like so goofy in this film. I'm like, like, calm down, Matthew Lillard. Jesus Christ. So, kind of go look a little over the top, aren't you? Also, Jamie Kennedy is in here. He's like another comedian guy. He's in here also. I mean, it's fine. We have like comedian type of. I mean, this was like before they got really big because Scream made them big. If Scream didn't exist, none of these people would even be noticed, except for like Courtney Cox, because Courtney Cox was on Friends. So, well, everyone else on this is like, if this movie didn't exist, none of these people would even be in any other movies after this film. If this movie didn't exist. Which there also are sequels after this film: Scream 2, 3, 4. Now a fifth one's come out next year, starring Jenna Ortega. That's the thing I don't understand. Why do you keep casting that chick in every movie? I mean, she's an okay actress, but she's like in every fucking movie. She's like always the main character. I just don't get that. These producers and Hollywood people. And you know how this movie goes. It's about, they got to find out who the killer is, who killed Drew Barrymore's character. They got to figure out who did it. The cops are trying to figure out. The kids from high school are trying to figure out. I mean, it's really obvious who it is. That Billy kid. It's really obvious that how he acts and how fucking twisted he acts. The way his hair is and shit. He really looks like he's a fucking serial killer. Like, come on. I mean, the one thing that surprised me is like Matthew Lillard. I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of a little surprising, and how he's the like part of the fucking serial killer type of thing. Which I understand. That's a pretty good twist. Is like two of them are fucking killers instead of like one of them. I had no problem with that. That's actually a good idea. Wes Craven came up with it there. That was pretty good. Yeah, the ending of the film, I thought it was pretty good, but like the rest of the film is like so goofy. It's like I said, they're trying to portray how teenagers act in the film and all that, but I think they're going a little bit too much how teenagers would act in the film. That's just my opinion, how I feel about this film. It's kind of like a little bit over the top. Even later films, it gets like even more and more over the top and stupider. It's like Scream 4 is like it got like really really dumb and like really really airheaded stupid. This movie, in my opinion, I think it's okay. I say it's okay because of how the ending ended. That was kind of a little goofy too. Like this whole movie is just it's really really silly. But that's fucking Wes Craven. I mean, Wes Craven made Freddy Krueger films. Nightmare on Elm Street. He made like 5 of them, or probably more. And I'm not really crazy about Freddy Krueger that much. I mean, he's a pretty good horror villain and stuff. I'm a bigger fan. I'm a Jason Voorhees fan. I'm a Jason fan. I'm not really a Freddy fan. It's like a movie Jason versus Freddy. Jason like beat the shit out of him. And in my opinion, I think he won that fight in that movie. He definitely won that fight. There's no doubt. I don't care if fucking Freddy winks his eye at the screen. He cut his fucking head off his body. He fucking won that battle. This isn't no exhibition match, all right. He won that shit. But yeah, there's like sequels. Yeah, I feel like it's unnecessary to make sequels to a film that doesn't need a sequel. Because the second one, I don't know what the second one's about. It's the same cast again, but I think it's like a stupider story. I think, and that's why like the movie Scary Movie with Marlon Wayans and Shawn Wayans like make fun of Scream because how stupid it was, how really really over the top it was. Also, oh yeah. I forgot. Another thing is, Leif Schreiber was in the first movie. He's like one of like the prisoners or something. I remember I was like, what the fuck? Leif Schreiber's in here too? How many like upcoming stars are in this movie? It's like so many of them. Like, Leif Schreiber was in here. I think it's another person too. I remember it was in. Oh yeah, it was Fonzie from well, I forgot what that show called. He played the Fonz. He was in here too. I was like, what the fuck's Henry Winkler doing here? I'm like, okay, this is getting way too goofy now. Now I got Henry Winkler in here. Hey. So like later on, the second one, it seemed like here a different cast. You got Timothy Olyphant's in here. I'm not a fan of Timothy Olyphant because he's not a good actor to me. I don't know who Sarah Mitchell is. Oh, Sarah Mitchell Gellar. So wait, so let me get straight. Scream 1 had Matthew Lillard. Scream 2 had Sarah Michelle Gellar. So that's like two actors from Scooby Doo is in Scream films. What's next? Freddie Prinze Jr. is like in the third one or something. Like fuck me. Yeah, it's like I never watched the second one, so I can't really judge. Maybe like later in the future, I'll do a review on Scream 3. No, not Scream 3, Scream 2. I don't know what the hell Scream 3 is about. That came out in 2000, and I don't know what the fuck that movie's about. And that's like a 5.6. Patrick Dempsey. It's like a smaller cast in this film. You know, it's the same actors in there again. Courtney Cox, Neve Campbell, fucking David Arquette again. Lance Henriksen's in here too. Jamie Kennedy's back. I think he was in the second one. I think. Jenny McCarthy sucks. Carrie Fisher, Patrick Warburton. What's with this cast? Jason Mewes. Wait. Kevin Smith. What? Jay and Silent Bob was in Scream 3. Okay, yeah, the third one's really stupid. Why would we have Jay and Silent Bob in a horror film? It's supposed to be scary. It's not supposed to be a comedy. What are characters from Clerks doing in Scream 3? I guess Kempster's good friends with Wes Craven, I guess. Even though it still don't make any fucking sense, even though it's supposed to be a horror film. Like I said, though, like, anybody could kick this guy's ass, Ghostface. Everybody kick this guy. He's a fucking amateur. Everybody kick this guy's ass. Even Chucky fucking trip him, and he'd, like, fall, and then Chucky stabs him in the head. That's it. Dead. Anybody kick this guy's ass. Like, he's like one of the worst villains, in my opinion. He's a weak villain. I feel he's a weak horror villain. All those guys I named before, they all can kick his ass. Pinhead can probably beat. This can like torture the shit out of him. Pinhead, he tortures the shit out of this motherfucker. Candyman was terrifying, killing with bees. And like people love these movies to death. They love them to death. They love these movies. That's why there's so many of them. That's why there's like sequels after sequels. And like they like the fourth one was like the worst one out of all of them. You know, they made Scream 3, which makes no sense having Jay and Silent Bob in there. But hey, they got some laughs and giggles in somewhere, huh? Scream 4 somehow it's 6.1, so I guess it's better than 3. See here, Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, Emma Roberts, David Arquette, Hayden Panettiere. Hayden Panettiere was like in every movie in the early 2010s and like in 2000s. She was like a big thing around that time. McCoy Culkin's brother, Roy Culkin's in here. It's the reason they had like the same cast in here again. Neve Campbell, Courtney Cox, David Arquette. I don't get Wes Craven always put like the original cast in here. Can he just put like some new people in here instead of not having them in there? I mean, I get they're part of the whole franchise, but I don't know. I feel like you just move on from those characters, but do some new people. Even the fifth one, they had them back there again, and it's directed by somebody else because Wes Craven died in 2015. So there goes that. So I feel like this movie's gonna be even worse than it already is without Wes Craven. Wes Craven died, like I say, he died in 2015. He died like at least 6 years ago. And he was working on a TV series of Scream. He did like a little bit of that before he died, and that show wasn't really that good because it's like really long and drags. It's boring, and that's a bad way. That's a bad idea. Making a TV show out of Scream. That's a really really bad idea because it's they're gonna drag it forever with that series trying to find out who the killer is and all that. That's a really really bad idea doing that. I think it lasted like 3 seasons at least, 3-4 seasons. Yeah, it should never been made a series. It's like the sequel should never be made. Oh, I gotta spit something out of my mouth. Ah, shit. I know it's gross, right? Ah, shit. It's just a fucking mucus or something. But yeah, I think they should just stop at 1 or 2 at least. Like, it's too many. I hate when they make sequels to movies that don't need sequels. especially Scream. I'm just not a fan of Scream that much. Like I said, the first one's okay, but I didn't watch the sequel, so I can't really judge. But it seemed like the third one seemed like the worst one. It seems like because of what I read from the cast of that film. Uh, like I said, the movie's okay, but I find this whole franchise to be pretty overrated. It really is overrated to me.